Hey guys, welcome to the Massive Iron Channel. I'm Steve Shaw. In this video, I'm going to address everybody's favorite question: how often do I need to change workouts? Before I get into that topic, if you have any questions or comments, drop them down below. The best topic ideas I turn into videos just like this. If you need more help with your workouts, learning how to maximize your workouts, check out my book, Massive Iron, linked down below. All right. So I get this question a lot. Anybody in this industry gets this question a lot because it's a solid question. There's a lot of misinformation, and we want to make sure we're doing things right. How often do I need to change workouts? Now, I've been asked this question so many times. Sometimes my knee-jerk reaction is just like, shut up and just continue to get stronger. Just shut up and continue to just get stronger. And there's some validity to that because, 90% of folks asking the question really just need to get a lot stronger and focus on the basics of muscle building. They don't need to worry about changing workouts because they really just need to worry about refining the overall process, the overall muscle building process, the pillars of success, right? There is a belief that floats around that if you don't change workouts every 8 to 12 weeks or whatever the arbitrary number is, that your muscles are not going to continue to grow, that you need some new form of stimulus. That is completely misguided. You can continue to use the same workout for 95% of your natural potential as long as you have a good exercise selection, a reasonable amount of volume, a progression approach, you're consistent in the gym, and you're consistent with your nutrition. If all those variables are in place, you don't need to continue to switch up workouts. That's a nonsense idea. After you reach maybe 90% of your potential, you might need to refine. Obviously, you're going to need to refine or evolve things over time based on what you learn. You need to become more efficient with your training. That's more evolving your training based on needs, which is a point I talk about a lot, rather than just jumping from workout to workout to workout, trying to continue with stimulus that will build muscle. They're two different things. There's a difference between evolving your workouts based on needs, what you find out in the gym, and just jumping to a new workout because you're scared to death that you're going to lose gains. What does evolving training mean? I'm going to get into this in just a second, so please be patient with me. Evolving your training is, say you go to the gym and you're doing barbell rows and you're on a program that says 10 reps per set, and you're like, after about 4 weeks, you don't like that. You prefer to do 5 reps per set. That's fine. That's evolving your training based on needs. As long as you have a progression approach with your 5 rep sets, it's not going to matter. Don't overthink this stuff. Just get stronger on your rows. All right, so like I said, the knee-jerk reaction is just to tell people, stop worrying about changing your program and just continue to do what you're doing. With that said, there are some viable reasons to change programs, and I'm going to get into some variables of workouts, and we're going to break this down real quick, hopefully. A workout is basically comprised, and this is stupid simple, of a structure, how frequently you're changing body parts, what your split is, whether you're doing a full body split. You can do a 2-day-a-week program, you can do an A-B split, you can do a bro split. Obviously, there's a million ways to do bro splits. There's a million ways to structure a training program. Your workout is comprised of exercises. It's comprised of volume. How many sets and reps, that creates a tonnage. That's basically your volume. Intensity, weight relative to your 1 rep max. On the bench press, are you doing 5 sets of 10? That's a lower intensity and a little bit higher volume. Or are you doing a 3x3? That's higher intensity or weight closer to your 1 rep max. And then you have all the miscellaneous techniques like rest pause, run the rack, drop sets, all the fancy stuff, right? All the little things that usually make one workout look completely different from another workout. These are just miscellaneous techniques. So, how often do you need to change the structure? Well, for beginners, I always recommend that they start with a full body, evolve to an A-B split over time. That's still frequency training, but this is generic advice, and it's not meant for everybody. It's not meant as a rule. But once you start to build strength, and start to accrue more and more warm-up sets, if you're doing a full body workout, it can start to stretch out the length of time you're in the gym, and it can really become aggravating. You can start out with a full body workout, but if it's keeping you in the gym longer and longer and longer, that's a viable reason for you to change a workout. So you're not in the gym for 2.5 hours, hour and 45 minutes. So that is a good reason to change the workout. You can still have a good mix of frequency, train a body part twice a week, and not have to do so many warm-up sets for so many muscle groups on every single workout. Over time, when you've built like 90%, 85 to 90% of your muscle mass, or you become an intermediate, and you need a little bit more recovery time, it's certainly okay to transition to a bro split or body part split. I know many in this industry are against them, but once you have established a track record of building muscle and you know how to build muscle, you're still going to be able to build muscle on a bro split, body part split. You're going to have more recovery time. You're not going to have to beat up your body with heavy weight, the same muscle group, 2 or 3 times a week. So if you want more recovery time, this is certainly a reason to change your workouts. Again, if you want to play around at that time and see if you can do a little bit shorter workouts, a little bit more focused workouts, remember this rule. If you can build muscle on a full body and upper-lower split, or an AB split, you're going to be able to build it on basically any type of split, body part split. So don't be afraid to evolve it. There are good reasons to evolve your training program to a lower frequency program, especially for older individuals that want to build muscle, like me, that need a little bit more recovery time, folks that need less time in the gym, etc. When I was chasing, heavier and heavier totals in powerlifting, I would go in and it would take me 45 minutes just to finish my deadlifts. And then I would have to do all my back work. If I had to do my deadlifts and then overhead presses and a full body workout, I would have lived in the gym, and that is simply not fun. All right, exercise selection. This is a big one, especially for most of you that are still learning how to build muscle, still not completely satisfied with your results. How often do you need to change workouts? Okay, workouts basically are comprised of the same quality exercises, right? Squats, deadlifts, bench press, overhead press, barbell press, barbell rows, dumbbell rows, pull-ups, all that kind of good stuff. There's a quality pool of exercises. The question is, what are you trying to switch from? Okay, if you go from one program to another to reignite gains or to continue to challenge your body, you're basically using the same exercise pool, right? You're just basically using the same exercise pool, mixing up the sets and reps a little bit, mixing up the miscellaneous techniques a little bit. So really, if you're using quality exercises, there's no real reason to change programs, because you're just going to jump back into another program with the same damn exercises. With that said, you can certainly jump into a new program if you want to try new variations. Let's say you're doing a lot of squats and you want to try front squats. Let's say you're doing a lot of deadlifts and you want to try hex bar deadlifts. That is a reason to change programs if you want to experiment with different types of movements. All right, so we have volume. Volume can be a viable reason to change programs. For the beginner, early intermediate, you're going to have a reasonable amount of volume. Over time, as you move into the intermediate stages, it's a good, especially if your end goal is to build strength or power build, get as big, as strong as humanly possible. You want to, at some point, attack your work capacity a little bit and bring up your volume over time. So there is a viable reason to change workouts. Once you get into that intermediate stage of training, you can kind of ramp up the volume a little bit. We're not talking about anything excessive or super punishing, but you can certainly play with more higher volume programs or slightly higher volume programs as you hit the intermediate stage. That is a viable reason to change programs. Intensity. Intensity is weight relative to your 1 rep max. When do you need to change programs regarding intensity? When you become an intermediate, late intermediate strength trainee, and or someone that really wants to bring up their big lifts, then it may be a good idea to change to a more intense type of program, something that's doing lower rep sets. Lower rep work is really not best suited for the beginner or the intermediate lifter, but it is better suited for somebody that has built up probably 90% of the strength they're ever going to, 85 to 90% of the strength they're ever going to build. They can attack with a little bit more intensity, lower rep stuff. That's going to help them build strength. You do not need to change your workouts regarding intensity if you're not trying to be the strongest man you can possibly be. If you're happy with a quality amount of strength, you're not insane in your brain about chasing strength, this is something you don't ever need to worry about, and that is reps under 5%. If you do want to improve your strength and you're pretty strong already, there's a viable reason to change your program and experiment with lower rep work, basically cycling in and out, having an off season with some workout intensity or work capacity, and then maybe doing a peaking or a linear progression approach or linear periodization approach with lower rep stuff. And last but not least, miscellaneous techniques, all the fancy stuff, supersets and rest pause work, and all the little things that separate one training, that really define one training program over another. Like German volume training is very defined. We have dog crap training, which is very defined. They all have very unique characteristics. When do you need to change to one of those types of programs? You never need to change to one of those types of programs. It's not a requirement to build a lot of muscle or strength. With that said, you can certainly play around with these types of programs because you will learn a lot, and sometimes it's just fun. When you are mentally stagnating in the gym, then it's probably a good idea to try to change programs just to keep yourself a little bit more engaged. Having fun in the gym or having the freedom to just play around is a big thing. And if you're just feeling stale or stagnant, go ahead and try something new. Just give your body a break-in period of time, several weeks, where you can get used to the new demands of a program. But just remember, all this stuff aside, a lot of this stuff, increasing volume, cycling in intensity, all this kind of stuff is for the guys that really, for the most part, really just want to get the absolute most muscle and strength they can out of their program. If you're one of the 90%ers that just want to build up a little bit more muscle, a little bit more strength, my best advice for you is don't ever think you need to change programs to continue gains. You can continue with the basics. You can continue with the essentials. You don't have to screw with volume or intensity or exercise techniques, fancy exercise techniques. You will never need to do that if you're just one of the 90%ers that just wants to look better, wants to bench 315, etc. The one final point, and that is about reigniting gains. You'll get the comment, I'd switch to this program to reignite gains. I want that whole concept to die. I want it to die a quick and painful death. And here's why. Because the people trying to reignite gains really don't understand the muscle building process. When you are a beginner, you have rapid gains. The more you lift, the more you train properly, the more gains you accrue, but the slower they start to come over time. So as somebody reaches that intermediate stage and they've went from complete noob to somebody that can bench 275 for reps, their arms are over 16 inches, they've seen rapid progress, and then all of a sudden things slow down and they think they start to panic, they think they're doing something wrong, and they think they need to reignite gains. You can't change human physiology. You can't. All you can do is continue to be patient. The more progress you make, the slower the progress is going to come in the future. So just because progress has slowed, and I want you to remember this, Just because progress has slowed doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. Continue to do what you're doing. If you want to be superhuman with strength, then you might need to mess around with intensity. If you want to maybe play around with adding a little bit more volume, go ahead. But reigniting gains, you're never going to reignite gains to the degree that they occur as a beginner. So guys, hope this video has been of some help. If you have any questions or comments, drop them down below. If you made it this far in this video and have yet to subscribe to my channel, please do. I'd appreciate the support. So guys, as always, thanks for watching. Have a great day.